So I ran the numbers. If you took 100 grand 5 years ago and put half into FXAIX and the other half into VOO,
Oh, the ultimate showdown. I mean, people fight over this in our comments literally every day.
right? But here's the thing. 5 years later, the gap between those two accounts is under $100.
Wait, are you serious right now?
Not 100,000, not 1,000, under $100.
Okay, wow, I need a second. By the way, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Frank. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create these easy-to-understand whiteboard animations to help your family break down complex finance stuff.
Avoid the traps and build wealth together. If you want to secure your future, you are exactly in the right place. But seriously, Frank, back to the $100. If the outcome is basically a tie, what are people actually arguing about online?
They're arguing over, well, think of it like 2 cartons of eggs from the exact same farm.
Different label on the box, same eggs inside?
Exactly, because they both track the S&P 500. So they own the exact same 500 companies. And when I say same, I mean down to the order.
So we're talking NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft?
Yep, Amazon, Alphabet, Broadcom, Google, Meta, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway. Same companies, same order. Actually, in FXAIX, those top 10 are about 36% of everything you own.
Right.
And in VOO, it's about 38%.
Okay, but hold on. I've definitely pulled up those sector breakdowns online before, and, you'll see tiny gaps. Like one site says FXAIX is 33% tech, and VOO is 35%. So someone is lying, or...
Or they just pulled the data on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday.
Wait, seriously? That's it?
Literally, that's it. It's the same 500 stocks. Those little gaps just come from data vendors, sorting a few borderline companies differently. So if anyone tells you one is more tech-heavy than the other, they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, but surely over time the actual returns drift apart, right? I mean, they have to.
You would think so, but let's look at the 5-year returns side by side. I'm going to read these fast. In 2025, FAIX returned 17.86%. VOO was 17.82%. In 2024,
Wait, a 0.04% difference?
exactly, nothing. In 2024, it was 25% versus 24.98%. 2023, 26.29% versus 26.32%.
Okay, so we're fighting over literal decimal points. But what about when the market crashes?
Great question. 2022, they both fell hard. FAIX was down 18.13% and VOO was down 18.19%.
Ouch, I remember that year.
Yeah, it was... Anyway, you get the picture. Up years, down years, they are identical. That is exactly why our imaginary 100 grand from the start of 2021 grew to about $196,000 in both funds by the end of 2025.
Which brings us back to the less than $100 difference.
Right.
So if the holdings tie and the returns tie, why don't we just flip a coin? It literally doesn't matter.
Well, no, hold on. There actually are 2 real differences. They're small, but they're real. And the second one is the one that actually decides it for you.
Okay, I'm listening. What's the first one?
The first one is cost. And I don't want you to think in percentages here. I want you to think in actual dollars, because on your $100,000, FXAIX charges you $15 a year. VOO charges you $30 a year. That's it. That is the entire fee difference.
Wait, so we're talking about a $15 difference on $100,000?
Yep.
Frank, that is literally 1 extra coffee per year. Or maybe 2 lattes with oat milk. I mean, we definitely waste more than that just forgetting to cancel Netflix.
Exactly. Yes, FXAIX is technically cheaper, but be honest, what does $15 a year actually do to your wealth? Basically nothing. Remember that 10-year gap we talked about? Under $1,000. So the fee is real, it's just not life-changing.
Okay, so if the fee barely matters, what is the second difference? The one you said actually makes the decision.
Right. It's not about the money at all. It's about how you buy them. See, FXAIX is a mutual fund, and VOO is an ETF.
Okay, cue the finance jargon in plain English, please.
Fair enough. So VOO trades all day like a normal stock. You can buy it at 10 a.m., sell it at 2 p.m., watch the price tick up and down, and you see exactly what you pay the exact second you hit buy.
Got it. Real time. And FXAIX?
It prices once a day. Think of it like dropping off dry cleaning. You hand over your order and you just get whatever the day's closing price is when the market shuts, not the second you click.
Okay, but for us, like for a family just buying and holding for 10 or 20 years, does that actually matter? We're not day trading our retirement fund.
Exactly. It means almost nothing for long-term investors, but it points to the platform mechanics, which we'll get to in a second. First, I need to clear up the biggest myth because I know exactly what people are typing in the comments right now.
Let me guess. VOO is a $900 billion giant, so it's safer. Both are huge, guys. Size is a non-issue.
Right, but here is the real trap. VOO is currently sitting around, $694 a share, and FXAIX is around $263.
Right. Okay, I mean, we literally did this when we first started investing. I looked at two funds and thought, well, the cheaper one is a better deal, right? I mean, why buy one share of VOO when I can get almost 3 shares of FXAIX for the exact same money?
Exactly, and honestly, this is the single most common beginner mistake. A higher share price doesn't make a fund expensive, and a lower one doesn't make it a bargain.
Make it make sense, because my brain definitely wants the cheaper one.
Okay, think of it like this. It's like saying a $100 bill is worse value than two 50s.
Oh, okay. When you put it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
Right? It's the same money. You're buying the exact same fraction of those 500 companies either way.
Got it. It's purely psychological.
Yep. Now, here is the part everyone actually came for. Forget which fund you pick for a second. Just look at what staying invested can actually do. Let's say you put your $100,000 in today and you never touch it.
Okay, let's talk real numbers.
Well, I have to be straight with you here. Nobody can promise a future return. The last 5 years ran really hot, like 14% a year. That won't repeat forever.
Right, so we use the long run average, around 10%?
Exactly. The S&P 500's historical average is about 10% a year. Again, it's an illustration, not a guarantee. But at 10% a year, your $100,000 becomes about $259,000 in 10 years.
Okay, solid.
About $673,000 in 20 years, and slowly for emphasis, about $1.74 million in 30 years.
Wait, $1.74 million from just leaving it alone?
Same 100 grand, you just let it ride. And hey, if you want to be super cautious and assume a softer 7% a year, 30 years still lands you around $760,000.
Wow, so the magic isn't the fund at all, it's the time.
Exactly. The time in the market is what really...
Okay, Frank, stop. These numbers are great. They are amazing. But let's be real for a second.
What?
I'm sitting here thinking about normal families. Most people watching this do not have 100 grand just lying around to drop into an account today. I mean, we definitely didn't when we started.
You know what? That's actually totally fair. But the good news is, you don't need a huge pile to start. You just need a steady habit.
Okay, define habit. Like 50 bucks? 500?
Let's use $500 a month. Say you invest $500 a month automatically into either fund. At that same 10% average, in 10 years, you'd have about $102,000.
And we only put in, 60 grand of our own money?
Exactly. But watch this. In 20 years, it's about $380,000. And in 30 years, it's about $1.13 million.
Wait, 1.13 million from just $500 a month?
Yeah, and your total out-of-pocket contribution over those 30 years is only $180,000. The other, roughly $950,000, that is just growth doing the heavy lifting while you sleep.
Okay, that is exactly why we set up the auto transfer. Because if I have to manually move the money every month, I'll
I don't know, spend it on Target runs.
True, we definitely would. And here's the kicker. Investing about $770 a month for 30 years gets you to almost exactly the same place as dropping 100 grand in all at once.
So you don't need to be rich to start. You just need to start and not stop. Okay, I love that. So if the math is that clear, give us the final verdict. How do people actually decide tonight?
It literally comes down to where your money already lives. Look, if you invest at Fidelity, go with FXAIX. You buy it commission-free, you can buy fractional shares, and you can put it on autopilot, which is perfect for that monthly plan we just talked about.
And if our money is anywhere else, like Vanguard, Schwab, Robinhood, or just our regular 401k?
Then go VOO. It works everywhere. Oh, and if this is a taxable brokerage account, not an IRA or a 401k, VOO gets a slight edge because ETFs are generally a bit more tax efficient.
That's it? That is the whole decision? We don't have to overthink the decimal points?
That is the whole decision.
Okay, thank God. Drop a comment below with the fund you actually hold and the platform you're on. Frank literally reads every single one.
I really do. And hey, if this video saved you some overthinking, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making these.
Although, wait, you just mentioned tax efficiency. We should probably do a whole breakdown on how taxes quietly eat into